Well, it's a pleasure right now to be joined by Colt Cabana, a man who is vastly diversifying himself. I mean, wrestler, podcast host, documentarian now. What does Colt Cabana not do?
Nothing. Well, sexual relations sometimes. That's a sad day in my life, but I'm working on it. I'm working on everything. Yeah, we're wrestling here at the Ted Reeves tonight. It's fantastic. Like you said, my podcast is going well. I made a movie. I'm doing comedy. I'm throwing myself in all different types of baskets. But at the end of the day, they all relate to the world of professional wrestling. So that's the most important thing: is that I stay in the world of wrestling. And if I have other talents, I use them to help show people the different sides of the wrestling world that I love so much, and not just inside the ring, but I think there's so much around the whole world of wrestling. It's not just in the ring; it's all over the place.
Now, I'm curious. Since starting the Art of Wrestling podcast, which is available on iTunes, I'm curious if now, when you're interviewed, do you kind of after the interview, you kind of assess the interviewer and say, you know what? I don't think that guy was really up to snuff. I mean, do you have kind of like a grading system now?
Well, I mean, that's why I started the Art of Wrestling podcast, because I was doing all these interviews and I was just like, man, I know what I like to be asked as an interviewer or when I'm being interviewed, and I know that a lot of them aren't up to snuff before I even started it. Yeah. And I was just sick and tired of going on a lot of these shows where I was just like, I'm just gonna start my own, and and that's kind of how it's always I've related the other ones. There are some great ones out there, but the thing is if you have something to promote, like my movie, WrestlingRoadDiaries.com, you know what I'm saying, or $5 Wrestling at High Spots, or ROH Wrestling. If I have something to promote, there's only so many you can go to in the world of wrestling, and sometimes they don't want you because they already had you a week ago when you were promoting something else. So this way, now I have my own forum to promote anything I need, and also I get the opportunity to sit down and talk with my friends in the world of wrestling, and we can talk. We can do a long form, free form, conversation, which the fans really seem to enjoy, and which I really enjoy doing.
Now, the Wrestling Road Diaries, I've had a chance to watch it. An excellent job, and it seems to have been like unanimous approval for this documentary, because I think a lot of people didn't really know what to expect going into it, and just really blown away at just these three guys on the road and your personalities. I just thought that it really jumped out of the screen for me.
Yeah, we were so happy. I mean, it was a long process. We documented 10 days on the road. We put it together. It was done at the end of 2009 when Dragon was going from ROH to WWE, and I just happened to be coming back from WWE into ROH. And it really just shows the life of a professional wrestler. Like I said, it's not just about what we do in the ring. There's so much going on outside of the ring, and so to be able to document that and show the world, I think it was very important, because I don't think there's a documentary like this for my generation. When I was, a little younger, there was, Bret Hart's, and there was Beyond the Mat, and there was a couple others, and I love watching those, but I don't feel our generation has been portrayed in that manner. And so now this is kind of our way to show everyone, or the ones coming up eventually, or the ones 10 years, 20 years from now, when they decide to get into wrestling, they can see what it was like for us to kind of struggle on the road, or just the way we were doing it.
What's some of the more interesting feedback you've gotten from some of your colleagues, other workers in the locker room, and that have had a chance to see it?
Yeah, people are just like, oh my God, that's what we do. I'm like, I know. And like for everyone, for the fans to enjoy it so much, and then for the wrestlers to be like, that's what we do. That's crazy that you just filmed what we do. And then for the fans to say like how much they loved it, it justifies that, yes, our life is fun, crazy, wild, and just amazing, and just so much different than what Joe Blow 9 to 5 does. And that's why I thought it was important to document the life of an independent wrestler, which is very bizarre. To me, it's normal. It's the only thing I really know for the past 13 years, but to others, it's just mind-blowing kind of what we do to get by.
I'm also curious, in terms of your independent bookings and stuff, since doing the podcast, have you noticed almost like an increase? Because, I mean, the Colt Cabana awareness factor, I mean, It's a weekly basis that people are getting a dose of Colt Cabana. And on top of that, it's not just simply watching you in the ring, it's getting to know you here for 45 minutes to an hour every week.
Yeah, really. I mean, I guess if you want to I have a business degree in marketing, so if you really want to get back into the nitty-gritty and pull back the curtain here, it was a smart marketing move. It is a business move. And since I've done the podcast, not only have my bookings gone up, yes, unbelievably. People now want to book me, want to bring me to their town, want me to say, hey, I'm coming to this town, I'm coming to their show. They really enjoy that. Also, it's great advertising, but also going to the shows and being at shows, more people are coming up to me, more people are saying, hey, I love you on the podcast. And I realize I've diversified myself so well, where it's not just the thrill of seeing me in the ring, but now they know that I'm the guy that they that I talk to them every single week, and it seems that people are really enjoying that, and it's great just to be able to have that medium, have that forum of somebody's MP3 player or an iPod player to be in their ears every week and just say, hey, this is what I'm all about, and to build a relationship with people. It's been a great business move so far.
Let's chat a bit about coming up later tonight. You're going to be working against Delirious. It's a real special tribute match to the late Larry Sweeney, Alex Wybrow. Tell us first how this match was put together. Was this something you and Delirious kind of thought of doing, or how did it all come about?
Yeah, it was brought up to me, and we kind of threw it around, the idea to do this, myself and Delirious, and I think it was agreed upon right away. There's a great match where, unfortunately, when Chris Candido passed away, we did a tribute match for him in IW Mid-South with myself, Delirious, and Alex and Larry Sweeney, and it was a comedy match in terms to just light. I think it was done at a deathmatch tournament. It was done to lighten the mood of the deathmatch tournament. With how would Chris Candido, mingle himself into this deathmatch tournament? He would have a funny, fantastic comedy relief match, and that match was when Alex passed away. That match was sent on Twitter, and the link was sent around, and people were really watching that. The YouTube hits went up high on that from before, and I think the idea that maybe the sadness of his death, but the reality of how much he loved wrestling, how much fun he was, what a great guy he was. Hopefully, myself and Delirious can now do this for Larry.
You were a part of the recent King of Trios tournament, and I just wanted to get an idea of, everyone kind of talked about kind of the mood of that entire weekend. It was just such an uplifting one for the independent scene, and it's become a very big selling set of tapes and DVDs right now. Tell us about being there live in Philadelphia that weekend.
Yeah, it was almost like, and Larry had a closed funeral. Alex, no one was allowed to go to his funeral, which was hard for me because he was a good friend and a great friend, and I wanted to go and celebrate his life at the celebration of a funeral or some sort, and to not have that was hard for me as a friend. But then to go literally that weekend to Chikara's King of Trios,
that's their offshoot,
where he broke in and where he was loved by everybody, and where it was very emotional. That was a great place to grieve for everybody, to be with his family almost in the terms of wrestling. So in terms of that was great to be there for Larry and for Alex. But then the weekend itself was full of such great wrestling. Chikara puts on a great show. Matt Classic was there, somebody's alter ego. And that was just a wonderful opportunity, and the way Chikara works is to bring in the hybrid of everything, and especially the nostalgic of seeing Jinsei Shinzaki, Hakushi, and 1-2-3 Kid and Sean Waltman inside the ring together was so special. And then really to watch El Generico and Sean Waltman that last night was such a special match, and it says, in my estimation, El Generico is the most underrated wrestler in the world. But also, to watch 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman, get in that ring and say, yeah, I might be 40, yeah, my time is gone, yeah, I've done a lot of drugs and my body's pretty messed up and my mind's messed up, but I know I'm a great worker at heart, and to go in there and to put it all on the line and to be unbelievable and to put on that kind of match where he stayed on the same level with El Generico, who, again, I think is one of the best wrestlers in the world, definitely the most underrated wrestler in the world, says so much about him and how much he wanted to give to the fans and give back to wrestling. And what you guys saw on the internet, or even what was written, or even on the DVDs, but in the back he was so emotional, and he is an emotional guy, but he was so emotional and so happy, and the love that locker room showed for him, he gave it right back. And it was great to see that Sean Waltman still has that love for wrestling, because you see these older guys and sometimes they're just a wrestling show, but he still loves wrestling, and it was great to see that he embraced it that weekend.
As we end off here, a fantastic documentary. And at the end of the 2.5 hours, I don't know why, but one of my first questions at the end of this documentary, we see you in your car, which you've logged a ton of kilometers or miles in the U.S. on. You're driving off, and you could see a circa 1995 WCW action figure in the back window. What action figure was that?
Oh, that was Alex Wright.
Alex Wright. Oh,
which actually, Festus, who Luke Gallows, while I was in developmental, he's the biggest wrestling fan. And if you go on my podcast on WeLoveColt.com, you'll be able to hear how great he is. A lot of people don't know how awesome Luke Gallows is. One of the funniest dudes ever. And he had this barrage of action figures, collection of all this just crap from being a fan. And he was one day he just gave it to me, and I was like, oh, Alex Wright's gonna to stay in my back window for forever. And there he was 2 years later on a road trip in the Wrestling Road Diaries, just hanging out.
And where can people get the documentary if they haven't already checked it out?
Yeah, the documentary Wrestling Road Diaries is available on WrestlingRoadDiaries.com or my personal merchandise site, ColtMerch.com. Over 2.5 hours of really, the most time you're ever going to be able to kind of jump in the car and see what the life of an independent wrestler is all about.
The documentary that David Lagana says might be the best wrestling documentary of all time.
Brian Alvarez also said that too. It's Lagana, Alvarez, people. I mean, literally, like you said, I've got no negative feedback, and it's really rewarding. And I welcome everybody to enjoy it with them.
A tremendous watch. Colt Cabana, everybody. Always a great time here on the Fight Network.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.